Hollywood. Hauntings. Hauntings.
Griffith Park, Part 2. Picnic table number 29. Haunting or hoax? Halloween, 1976. Childhood sweethearts, 22-year-old musician Rand Garrett and 20-year-old aspiring actress Nancy Jeanson were inconceivably crushed to death by a tree which fell on top of them as they made love atop picnic table 29. Attempts to remove the tree branch from the destroyed bench on November 7th were superseded by supernatural activity preventing cleanup. Supposedly, a tree trimmer named Morris Carl was overcome by chills and heard a disembodied voice which told him insistently to "Leave us alone," as the tree shook. He ran to his car where his engine refused to turn over. He then heard a rubbing sound across the windshield as letters mysteriously appeared on the suddenly fogged-up glass. Slowly, the letters spelled out NEXTIME. Next time, you die. His engine finally turned over and he peeled out as fast as he could. He left the park spooked and refused to go back to move the tree. His supervisor, Dennis Higgs, then took over and went to finish the job. He was found dead in the park near his idling car along Mount Hollywood Drive the next day, supposedly from a heart attack. Carl insisted his supervisor had died of fright, and his hair had turned completely white. The paramedic who worked on him said he had the most horrified expression frozen on his face, as if he'd seen the devil. The initial police investigation even suspected foul play after finding Higgs's hands injured and several fingernails broken in what looked to be a struggle against someone or something who dragged him from the side of the truck along the ground more than 15 feet towards the damaged picnic table. It is said Rand and Nancy were cremated and their ashes scattered around the table. In 2002, an anonymous park ranger coming off a break on Mulholland Trail was heading north on Mount Hollywood Drive, passing the picnic table on his left, when from out of nowhere, he heard an unearthly noise which started as a horrible sobbing, alternating between screams and a wicked laugh, which made the hair on the back of his neck stick straight up. A radio malfunction prevented him from calling for assistance. Only static came through. Shining a spotlight towards the table, he saw two shrouded figures with red glowing eyes freeze before fleeing deep into the forest and melting into the dark. He grabbed a flashlight and, jumping out of the truck, tried to pursue the fleeing figures. The screaming stopped abruptly, and then his flashlight failed as he was only a few feet past the picnic table. He was overcome with a deep sense of dread. Unable to see at all, he turned to run back to the car, but was suddenly enveloped in a suffocating embrace of freezing cold air around his neck, and felt as if a hand were grabbing inside of his chest. He felt an icy breath in his ear as a voice whispered, "Leave us alone." Suddenly, the air filled with the stench of death, and that thought was the last thing the ranger remembered before coming to on the hillside a short while later, his clothes disheveled. He ran back to his car, where he found the radio in working order and gave a rambling explanation to his supervisor, who was wondering where he was, before getting back to the station as quickly as possible. He filed no report on the incident, but put in a transfer first thing. When he arrived home, he went to take a shower and found the words, "Next time, you die," scratched into his chest and caked with dried blood. Did these incidences really take place? Did a young couple actually die on that picnic table? People who have tried to research the story have found no death records or obituaries of the couple, no news reports, nothing on any couple ever actually being crushed by a tree anywhere in Griffith Park. Is this just an urban legend? If so, how do you explain the strange noises, voices, and recorded activity people have found near the picnic table, videos of which can be seen on YouTube if you search Haunted Picnic Table Griffith Park? Is the paranormal activity attributed to a tulpa? Something which has been created through spiritual or mental powers? When searched, the earliest online record of the story comes from an online edition of the LA Times dated to October 30th, 2006. Or does it? When looked at closely, this article, believed to be the chief source of information about the haunted picnic table, is actually a spoof page. The URL reading LATIRNES, not latimes.com. On the hereinla.com website, writer Tony Pierce says the spoof website and origin story comes from a William Campbell and is entirely fictional. So again, how are we to explain what paranormal investigators and witnesses have experienced there? Lies? Faked proof? Tulpa? Trickster spirits? I leave it up to you. Maybe one day I'll venture out to find out for myself, but that's a big maybe. This couch potato doesn't hike. Ew. Next time, Hollywood Hauntings gives you part 3, where I'll discuss the Bronson Canyon Caves, the observatory, and how Griffith Park has been linked to the movies and TV shows we love.